Today, we're going to look at human flourishing, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're going to treat it like an art form, something you can learn, practice, and yeah, even perfect. So let's just start with a huge question right out of the gates. We always talk about finding happiness, like it's a set of keys we lost. But what if that whole idea is wrong? What if happiness, real joy, is something we can actually build, piece by piece, just like an artist creates a masterpiece? And this way of thinking is at the heart of what you could call a happiness revolution. It's a total shift in how we see our own minds and our own potential for real, lasting contentment.
I mean, just look at this contrast. For so long, the old view was that happiness was just luck, a roll of the dice. The best you could hope for, seriously, was to just feel a bit less miserable. But the new view, which is backed by tons of science, completely flips that script. It says no, happiness is a skill. It's something real that you can actually cultivate with effort.
So, what's the science that makes this possible? Well, it's this amazing thing called neuroplasticity. It basically means your brain isn't set in stone. It's more like clay, constantly rewiring itself based on what you think and what you do. This is the biological proof that changing your inner world isn't just some nice idea. It's literally what your brain is designed for. And we're not just talking about feeling good. The benefits are so real. People who work on their well-being are more successful, they have better physical health. Some studies even suggest they live up to 10 years longer, and they build way stronger relationships. It creates this incredible ripple effect through your entire life. Okay, so if we're the artists of our own happiness, what are the tools in our toolkit? This next part is all about those core mental states we need to get started on our masterpiece. And the most important tool of all is just understanding this one core principle. Your state of mind matters more than your circumstances. Think about it. Studies on lottery winners show that after the initial buzz fades, they go right back to their old baseline of happiness. It's the perfect proof that real joy comes from the inside, not from what happens to you on the outside. So the first tool to really master is compassion. But we've got to be really specific here. This isn't just a vague, warm and fuzzy feeling. We're talking about compassion as a stable, powerful state of mind. It's a genuine wish for others to be free from pain, and it's backed up by real commitment and respect. And here's why that distinction is so critical. A lot of what we call love is really just attachment. It's unstable, it's conditional, and it can turn to anger or resentment in a heartbeat if someone doesn't give us what we want. But genuine compassion, that's built on the understanding that everyone just like you wants to be happy. That makes it solid. It makes it reliable. Our second tool is connection. Our culture puts so much pressure on us to find the one, but putting all our eggs in that one basket can actually make us incredibly lonely. A much stronger approach is to broaden our idea of connection, to build deep, real bonds with lots of people, simply by recognizing that we're all in this together. Okay, so we've got our tools. Now what? How do we actually use them to paint on our inner canvas? This part is the how-to. It's a systematic, logical process for changing your mind. This is not about wishful thinking, it's about training. You can really break it down into 4 straightforward steps. First, you just learn. You figure out which thoughts bring you down and which ones lift you up. Second, you develop real conviction. You truly decide you're going to change. Third, you get a sense of urgency, realizing that life is short and precious. And finally, you act, and you repeat over and over. And that repetition is everything. We have to use habit to our advantage. Right now, our old negative patterns are strong just because we've practiced them for so long. But we can literally overwrite them by consciously practicing new, positive ways of thinking until they feel completely natural. Of course, life isn't always easy, right? So how does an artist of flourishing deal with the tough stuff? This is all about how we can take life's unavoidable pain and turn it into a source of real strength. The very first step is just accepting this. We have to start by acknowledging this basic truth. Trying to run from pain just gives it more power. Suffering is a part of life, period. But once we accept that, we can ask a much more interesting question. Instead of just putting up with suffering, how can we use it? How can we actually turn it into our greatest teacher? This is where reframing comes in, and it's incredibly powerful. Take someone you consider an enemy. Instead of just seeing them as a problem, you can reframe them as a rare and precious teacher. I mean, who else is going to give you such a perfect opportunity to practice patience? Your friends won't. And when you learn to work with adversity like this, the benefits are huge. It doesn't just make you tougher, it actually softens you. It makes you more empathetic, less arrogant, and it inspires you to want to do more good in the world. Now, you might be hearing all of this and thinking, this sounds a little selfish, doesn't it? Well, our final section is going to tackle that idea head on and show you why working on your own happiness is actually one of the best things you can do for everyone else.
It's really as simple and as powerful as this. Research has shown that happiness is literally contagious. It spreads through social networks. So when you cultivate your own well-being, you're not keeping it to yourself. You are actively creating positive ripples that help your family, your friends, and your entire community.
And think about what kind of person this work creates. A flourishing person becomes more sociable, more creative, more loving, more forgiving. These are all qualities that make society better for everyone. Let's be honest, it's usually unhappy people who are withdrawn and self-absorbed.
Which brings us to this really powerful idea. Pursuing your own well-being isn't just some luxury. If you really care about helping others, you could argue it's an ethical duty. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? By becoming a source of joy and stability yourself, you're so much better equipped to help the world. So we end right back where we started, with happiness as a true art form. The tools are here. The instructions are clear. And the canvas? Well, the canvas is your life. The only question left is, what masterpiece are you going to create?